and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, bringing you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis, and of course, keeping it real when it comes to theme parks. Now, in this particular video, I am going to break down part of what was released by Disney regarding new news about the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser that's scheduled to launch spring of 2022. I've been watching the development for this particular experience over the past couple of years, and with this new information that was dropped middle of last week, I have a couple of personal insights about it and analysis of what was released. But before I get to that, please do your girl a favor and please hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell as well so that you are notified when your girl goes live, drops, new videos, stuff like that. So, you're caught up on all the new fresh spice and salt occasionally at times that I have for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so as I said earlier, Disney Imagineering released a video the middle of last week, giving us a bit more detail around the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. Now, when this was announced a couple of years ago, I want to say right around the time Plans for Galaxy's Edge was announced, I was actually pretty excited about it because it's like, hey, Star Wars hotel. So I get to stay in the hotel, and it's kind of either like Bespin or some other place, and I get to relive some of those cool moments from the movies. Thought that would actually be freaking cool. Get to meet some Corellian, smugglers, meet some Jawas trying to sell me stuff, hustlers going around, who knows, bounty hunters you can meet at the bar or whatever, just being immersed in that world of Star Wars that I'd come to love. And of course, with Galaxy's Edge coming out, and I wasn't exactly thrilled. That was based on the sequel trilogy. However, that's the direction that Disney has decided to go in. So I'm going to try my best to be pretty objective with this, to kind of just give an overall analysis. I'll add a couple of insights from myself, but I'm trying not to delve into that thing of being salty about the original trilogy too much. But your girl is she's gonna bring some points up about that as we go through this.
Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is a first of its kind experience, right? Where we're inviting guests to step into a galaxy far, far away and live out a Star Wars story over 2 days and 2 nights.
So as you see, this is about a story. Okay, your Star Wars story that's going on. So you arrive here at, space station, not really space station, but boarding station, whatever, kind of like a spaceport terminal, even though you're driving your car up to it, to board the transport to get on the Galactic Starcruiser. So depending on who you interact with during this whole thing, will either let you go as deep into the story as you want, or not as deep into the story as you want.
Well, and if you just want to be a tourist down on the planet, you can just be a tourist and then go back to the cabin, take a nap, have some lunch, right? Like you can really choose to be as casual about this as you want, or dive as deeply as you want to.
Now it says it's coming, it was announced to be coming spring of 2022. Now that could be anywhere within the spring quarter. It could be early March, it could be late May. We haven't heard any specific dates about when it will open, except spring of 2022. My guess is the opening date is either going to be announced probably during the Q1 earnings report, although I think it will more likely wait and be announced during the annual stockholders meeting in 2022. So we'll see when the exact date is going to drop. But if I was a betting person, I would bet on it being announced for something date kind of like that, something around an investor event. So as I said earlier, for 2 days and 2 whole nights, you and whoever you're paying for to be in your party, you get to live out this story that takes place in a galaxy far, far away. And the story depends on what characters, you interact with. I'm guessing if you interact with a bounty hunter, it's different from, say, if you interact with a Twi'lek, or if you interact with someone from the First Order, I'm guessing. So it's kind of like, how that choose your own adventure novel, instead of like picking which path you want to go to interact with whatever to carry on the story, it depends on the characters that you interact with. So it seems to me this is what they're trying to sell you an immersive experience with a story that you eventually make your own in 2 days and 2 nights. So another thing that they talk about on here is, in this video, is the food.
I hope people are surprised by what our kind of food and beverage experience is, how great it's going to be.
So they talk about the food. Yes, as this is kind of like a cruise-ish kind of experience, of course, the food's going to be important. Your girl is a foodie. I love theme park food. So their aim is to make this food seem, other or outer worldly, or how it is that you want to call it. And while it seems like a great concept, like this different out of this world kind of looking food, the examples that they gave in the video, I really wasn't too impressed with. Like I said, I'm a foodie. I watch so many cooking shows, especially cooking shows that have Gordon Ramsay on it, Iron Chef, Hell's Kitchen, Master Chef. So I've seen outer worldly creations that were challenges, and some of those that honestly look a heck of a lot better than, say, stuff like this here is one. And actually props to Blog Mickey for some of these pictures. This doesn't really look too appealing to me. I mean, kind of like this here, I've seen these kind of noodles like in the store, like buckwheat noodles, or even, pasta that is, made with the ink from squid, like the black pasta. So I've seen stuff like that before. This here in the front looks like your bog standard sesame chicken that I would get from like Wegmans or something like that. I've seen this before. This dish over here to the right, sesame seeds on top of probably beef. These look kind of like little potato balls, and that's just straight up cilantro that's on the top. Now, like I said, I'm a foodie, so I'm going to pick out stuff like this. Your regular, not so foodie person might be impressed by this. I don't know, but it's not anything that kind of like super stands out to me. Same thing, like the blue shrimp that we have going on. This does not look appetizing to me. If you're going to think of something kind of outer worldly, I don't think that I would make it blue. I might make it something like bright yellow. I might make it just something that looks appealing. This kind of looks like it's just been painted over. I don't know. I mean, I like this like dry ice effect kind of down here, smoking coming off, but it doesn't look appetizing. It doesn't have vibrant colors like, like sushi, like some kind of twist on sushi. So it's like sushi, but not quite sushi. Either way, sorry, it just this doesn't look appetizing to me. But then again, your girl's a foodie. That's just me. Also, if this is supposed to be something reminiscent of Mustafar, I'm not getting it. It just looks dry and just it doesn't. The dish doesn't look like it has any real life to it. I'll pass. Thank you. So another thing that they talk about is entertainment. So of course, there's going to be entertainment that's going on during this particular experience. So to kind of show you a little better, they have like the sublight lounge, which the bar, and then you have the Crown of Corellia dining room, that they have going on. So the sublight lounge, yeah, okay, I can see where they're going with it. But if I put on my love for the original trilogy movies, if there's going to be a lounge or something like that, I'm looking for most likely Cantina, or at the very least, I'm looking for something that reminds me of Coruscant, and I don't really get that. Again, this is concept art; it could change, but I not really super appealing. I get where they're going with it, with the Disney Star Wars thing. You've got your dining room, which I'm guessing is like which is like on a cruise ship where you're probably dining with people you don't know. And I guess the characters of the story that you're interacting with for the main dining room. So I guess it's pretty, then again, this exposition of the story, I would hope that there was an option where if you don't want to interact with characters, you don't really have to. But also, speaking of the entertainment that they were talking about in the video, they're talking about bringing this great entertainment, singing, dancing, all of that. So Disney is tops when it comes to live entertainment for the most part. My whole thing is, I guess since this is family oriented, they couldn't exactly do the Coruscanti underworld scene from, like, say, Revenge of the Sith, which would have been perfect, I think, in my opinion, to add to something like this. But just like on a cruise, you've got your entertainment and all that included. I'm wondering if they're going to have dancing half naked Twi'lek women, because that would actually be pretty cool. We'll see if Disney does that. So again, regarding the story, you can be as casual as you want or as immersive as you want. So I'm guessing, if you're like, hey, I'm just here for, for the food and the entertainment and I could care less about the story, then you can do that. Or if you just want to just be in on all the action, all the time, you can do that too. So in that way, they're trying to include all ranges of interest for this particular experience. Granted, for me, if I were to go, I like the fact that, if I don't want to participate in the story, I don't have to. Because for me, I'm not really interested in the Disney Star Wars trilogy, but I am interested in just kind of seeing what they do with this. Also, speaking about this whole experience, in that whole video, I did not hear anything about a price tag being dropped. And I think the last time I heard this 2-day, 2-night experience is something like maybe $1,500 a head. So if a cabin, if you have a 4-person cabin and they're pricing it, per cabin, $1,500 a head, 4 people, you're looking at like what, $6,000, 2 days, 2 nights. Interesting, they haven't announced the price yet. It's kind of like what I tell people, my guideline at restaurants is if I have to ask how much something is because the price isn't listed, chances are I don't need it. It's way too expensive and out of my price range. So apparently the Star Cruiser stories were developed the same time as Galaxy's Edge. Now, does it connect with the broader Star Wars canon? Are we talking original trilogy canon, or are we talking Disney Star Wars canon? So I'm saying, or my primary opinion is it's going to connect mostly with the Disney Star Wars canon. And I pretty much got the answer to that when the conflict between Kylo and Rey is going to figure huge into this whole experience. Like I said, I am a person who likes the first 6 movies, not a fan of Disney Star Wars. So for me, this is a part of the experience I could totally pass on. But that's me. But for some people out there, this is probably something that they might like. So this is probably a good selling point if you're into the Disney Star Wars and you're just all about that Kylo and Rey conflict. Then this is probably something you want to look at. Side note, if they were smart, they would have dropped something in there about the Mandalorian. I I just find it interesting that they're developing this whole thing for the Galactic Starcruiser, but nothing about the Mandalorian storyline. Although further on in the video, the Imagineers talk about how it connects to the Star Wars movies and the TV shows on Disney Plus, and the novels and all of that. But we'll see how that works out. Wrapped up in that whole experience, you get to have an excursion to Batu. So, yay, you get to kind of get out of the bottle, so to speak, and go to Batu, of course, aka Galaxy's Edge. So by the time you go to, what the heck is that freaking place called? Rise of the Resistance. There's something, Rise of the Resistance, that ties into the story that you're in, should you choose to participate. There's also a part from Smuggler's Run. I believe that the prequel storyline before what happens in Smuggler's Run actually goes on during the Galactic Starcruiser experience. So there's that. And then, of course, walking around Batu and who you interact with and all that. So I thought that this hotel basically kept you cooped up and stuck there and you couldn't go anywhere. But apparently, they do let you out. Now, I don't know if it's you just go whenever you want to go on an excursion to Batu, or if it's scheduled kind of like a shore experience on a cruise ship. There's a time you leave the ship and there's a time that you need to be back on the ship before it takes off without you. So with this information about the Galactic Starcruiser, for myself, honestly, I'm not really interested in it for myself personally. However, for folks who really do like Disney Star Wars, this is probably something for you. If you're a casual Star Wars fan, this may also be something that's of interest to you. However, I believe that the biggest barrier for this is the price point that they're asking for. There was a point in time when Disney Hollywood Studios had enough immersion exclusive of Galaxy's Edge where you could get this particular experience, and you could interact with the characters like, Darth Vader, the stormtroopers, other characters that were walking around that you can interact with. But now they've, developed Galaxy's Edge with a storyline that doesn't quite, okay, it doesn't line up at all with Star Tours. So it's kind of disjointed. So again, I think it's all going to boil down to do you really want to pay upwards of $1,500? And again, this is an estimate, $1,500 per person to be locked up for 2 days and they let you out for a little bit to go to Galaxy's Edge. Now, for some people, they're saying that they think the immersion is worth it and they go for it. I think the price is too high. But that's me. I really couldn't see spending upwards of $6,000, like say for 4 people for the price of a room, if that's how it works. Even $1,500 for 2 days, that's not a price point that I'm willing to pay. And there's a really interesting tweet actually from Braden of Mickey Views, and I really think that this drives the point home. I don't get the appeal of the Galactic Starcruiser. Who's going to throw away several precious Orlando vacation days for a warehouse with tiny rooms? I call it the IKEA furniture, arcade games, and blue shrimp. Clearly, a lot of people, given Disney's confidence in building this, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But as someone who's been to Disney several times, stayed on property several times, has spent several $1,000s when it was actually worth it to stay, I really can't see something like this going on a long time. And granted, this is just me, throwing my 2 cents in there. 2 cents and $2 may be able to buy you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I really don't think there's going to be a super huge demand for this as soon as the initial, hey, let's check out and see what it's all about time period happens. I don't see this as something that has extreme staying power with the pricing model that they have now. They may have to wind up pricing it like all the other Disney hotels and going away from the 2-night, 2-day limit, possibly even having day guests. I mean, if they charge a day rate, I could see if they charged a day rate for something like this would be pretty freaking awesome. Say, hey, you pay $200, you can get to check out all the amenities at the Galactic Starcruiser. That would actually be doable. But Disney's been going for those super rich guests. So we'll see. I mean, I couldn't see spending this much money for blue shrimp when I could drop enough money akin to that and go on a cruise to the Caribbean or somewhere. But that's just me. It wouldn't be Star Wars. Now that I think about it, I do believe Disney Cruise Line does have Star Wars at sea. Are they still going to do it when the Galactic Starcruiser goes into full swing? It'll be interesting to find out. So let's have a little fun here. Compare the Galactic Starcruiser to something else. That something else being the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Okay. I can drop into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, whether Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, bring this lovely interactive wand with me, and just enjoy and have fun. Whatever I choose to interact with, I can do with those interactive stations. I can, talk to witches and wizards that are, stationed around. I could go to the different experiences from the stores to the live shows like the Tri-Wizard Tournament. I can go and do all of that. And the only thing that it costs me is whatever, the cost of my interactive wand, which I believe now, I think the wands go for maybe like $60 or something like that. I have this interactive experiences and the cost of admission to get into the parks. Even if there was a quote Harry Potter hotel, I really don't think that if they built one at Universal that they would just pretty much just lock you up in the hotel and that was it. Maybe let you into Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley once or twice to interact with the story. I think just for me, the way the Galactic Starcruiser set up, it is so restrictive in comparison to, say, what you have at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter for way less of a price. Just an observation. So those are my opinions about the Galactic Starcruiser at Disney World, and that's pretty much my spicy take and salty barbs. Let me know in the comments, what is your impression of the Galactic Starcruiser? Is it something that you're interested in? Is it something that you're maybe a little bit more interested in because Imagineering has dropped some more information? Or are you just like, you know what? Nah, it wasn't for me. It's not going to be for me. Hard pass. I would love to find out your opinions down there in the comments. All right, folks, so please do me a favor. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. That thumbs up helps me with the algorithm and helps add me to those voices of people vlogging about Walt Disney World and their particular offering. So that will be a super huge help. Again, please do subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified when your girl goes live with new content that I'm so eager to give to you. So thank you so very much for watching this video, and I will catch you next time. Bye.